Hey, this is Tom Mitchell, the Highland Traveler. Do you ever have a backpack that just wasn't quite right? Something you liked, but just had some issues and you just didn't use it that often because of that? So I've got a pack that I bought well over 15 years ago, just a small day pack. I think it's maybe 20 liters. And I just never used it. The waist belt was too small, just had features that I didn't enjoy. So I finally decided to modify it. So let me show you what I've done, or what I'm doing. So this is a backpack I believe I picked up at Sam's Club years ago. It's like a skier snowboarder pack made by Swiss Gear. Not, a high-end pack, but I liked the features of it for the most part. I've used it occasionally for day hikes. It's got really nice shoulder straps and waist belt. Waist belt even has pockets on both sides. Shoulder strap has narrow pockets on both sides. Really a nice adjustable sternum strap, and it was built for a water bladder system. You see it opens up here, and it had a divider here so the water bladder fit right in here, separated with 2 layers of fabric from the main compartment, which was right here. It always felt too small. I just could not put much in it, and I wanted to utilize it for my camera gear. So what I did, I took a pair of scissors, and this piece right here I have halfway sewed in now, but this piece right here, turn that around there, this was the separator that separated the water bladder compartment from the main compartment. I cut it out. I literally just went with the pair of scissors and cut it out. I've taken it, and my wife sewed an edge all the way around it. You can see here, and I'm sewing it back in. I'm sewing it in by hand because I'm stitching it to this seam. This may have been able to be done with a machine, but not my wife's machine, so we just decided, I just said, look, I'll do it by hand. So this is the seam where the front and the side meet. It's a good thick seam, so I'm just stitching it back to that. The excess that came up a little too high, you can see right there, I just decided to fold under, and I'm stitching it across here. I'm now currently on my way back, so it's double stitched. It'll be double stitched all the way around, and you can see I've got it stitched down to there and across and back. I'll finish stitching it up to here, and then I'll have a pocket inside it, a small mesh pocket, small pocket for a few odds and ends. I'm also going to leave this unstitched to the seam, which will leave a nice deep pocket down in here, just for a small odds and ends things that I might want to put in there if I've got room. The nice thing about this opening on the back like that, I love backpacks that open on the back for camera gear, because then you can just set it down and not putting your what's going to go on your back down on the ground, and then pop it. You just unzip it, pop it open, and you can access your camera gear. I recently bought a Peak Design pack and their camera cube systems, which I really like, but I want to utilize this for not having to carry that full pack. This is something that I'd be more comfortable with, like taking on a camping trip. The Peak Design travel pack is literally made more for airports, traveling in car like a piece of luggage, which I love that. But this pack I've always wanted to use for a camera gear pack when I was camping or hiking, and just never could use it. So the camera cubes, the medium camera cube fits just perfectly inside this right here with just a little bit of room at the top, which that medium camera cube had. I can pretty much carry everything in it I would want to carry on my back. So I'm really excited for that finally got around to doing this. It's just something that's been bugging me for years. The other thing that I wanted to accomplish with this, which always bothered me, let me zip this back up, was I never could fit the waist belt on me. Yeah, so I got fat. I even lost some weight. I've lost, like I keep saying, 35 pounds. I'm trying to lose another 10 more, which I will. It might take me 6 more months, but I'll pull it off. All through high school and all through my 20s, I was 125 pounds and a 28 to 30-inch waist. I'm 5'5", I'm a short guy, and was always very trim and skinny and athletic build. And middle age catches up to you, and you end up getting fat and old. I've decided I'm fighting it, and so I've been losing a lot of weight. This pack still would not fit me, the waist belt, especially if I'm going to wear it as a winter pack. If I'm going to use it in the winter under, over the top of some heavy clothes like a coat. So the waist belt just would not work. So what I've done, I don't know if you can see this very well. This was the waist belt, this long there, that folded under. It had the side squeeze clips on the end. I've put on, I'm still in the process of doing this. This is a double tensioner. So this piece is going to get sewed on right there. Just going to trim it off and sew it in. This is a belt, an extra belt clip for the excess. This is one of those double tension pullers. This is the side squeeze, half of the side squeeze part that came off of this original pack. Bought some gray nylon seatbelt webbing. It literally will just fit in here, come over like that. So this is going to still have the double pull feature on it. See, you can't pull it, loosen it, you can. This is going to be sewed over, bended over a couple times, folded over a couple times, and then sewn down so that it won't pull through. So I'll be able to adjust it from there. But more importantly, I love packs that you can adjust from this right here. You just notice that won't pull out when it's down, but if you want to lengthen it, you just lift up on that and you can pull it out. To tighten it, you just pull on that. There's going to be one on each side. So I'm literally going to have on each side, I can just loosen it or tighten it by the simple pull of a strap to tighten it, lift up on that and pull on the buckle to loosen it. I absolutely love this style of waist belt strapping on a backpack, and I'm modifying this pack to do that. So just a matter at this point of my wife can sew through this with her sewing machine, so it's just a matter at this point of getting her to do these ends up so that this is finished, and me hand stitching the inside of this, and then this pack will be everything I've always wanted it to be. So if you've got a pack that you're not happy with, that you're thinking of, you just don't ever utilize it much, well, take a good look at it and see what you can do. I know a lot of guys will take a pack that's too heavy, that they like, but it's just too heavy, and they'll just strip it down. They'll cut a bunch of stuff off. Stuff they don't really utilize, things they just don't need, that they'll just cut off, go at it with an X-Acto knife and some scissors, and lighten it up. This pack is a pretty heavy pack. I didn't want to there's not much I could lighten it up with, but pulling out this center piece, this piece literally was sewn right in between the main compartment and where the water bladder would go. The mesh pocket was actually on the water bladder side. This was in the water bladder side. This mesh pocket would be for to hold the water bladder. It's water bladder compatible. It's got a hole right up here, and then you can fish the hose for your water bladder through the back of the shoulder strapping and bring it out this hole right here. It's got this little pocket on each one. You could stick the nozzle in if you want. I always liked that, but that piece down the middle drove me nuts. So I cut it out, sewing it on here, so I'll have a pocket on this. I'll have one big compartment, which I can access from this side or from the shoulder strap side just by undoing those. So I'm quite excited to finally utilize this thing fully after at least 10 years. I think I've had it for 15. Maybe pushing 20, but probably at least 15 years. It hasn't had much wear. I mean, it's really hardly ever been worn. So I'm going to be utilizing it for some of my winter camping stuff to carry some of my gear in. Also, now that it's going to fit me, when I go snowboarding, I'll carry this pack with some stuff in it. That's what I bought it for originally, and I never could get the waist belt to fit with my coat on. So if you've got a pack that you're not happy with, take a good look at it and see if there's something you can do to make it better. So I hope you enjoy this little moment sitting here on my couch. If you're wondering what the camo is, this is a comforter from Superior Gear Hammock. Superior Gear. There you go, Danny. I just got all my hammock stuff that I ordered from them delivered on Christmas Eve day, and I didn't even get a chance to open up the box until the other day. I'm going to be doing a video about that, a fun video I'll put up, but I've pulled this one out and just been using it as a blanket here on my couch in the basement. I get a little cool down here in the basement if I don't kick on the little space heater over there, and this is just really nice. This is a 20-degree hammock, underquilt, overquilt. It's a quilt, and you can utilize it as an underquilt or as a top quilt on a hammock the way it's designed. It's got pull strings on the bottom and on the top. The bottom's got designed for a foot box. It's got this padding that fits up in the hole where your drawstring pulls together, so you can make a foot box out of this. It's got snaps to snap it up. You can snap up your foot box. Anyway, that's what the camo is. Camo's my favorite color, and so when Danny announced that they were coming out with camo for everything camo, I went ahead and bought two 20-degree hammocks. They have a built-in underquilt in them, which is great. 2 20-degree comforters, and in camo, the comforters camo on the outside, and the dark gray on the inside. The hammock is dark gray on the outside and camo on the inside. And then I bought the 14-foot winter tarp, which is really cool. I actually was playing with that in my backyard today, set it up on with my hammock stand, and figured out how I'm going to do some stuff with that in the backyard. But that's what this is all about. So there's a little infomercial for you. Anyway, so if that's what I'm up to, this is stuff I do cold winter nights, and you don't want to be outside much. You just projects. I've always built stuff with my hands. I've been into mountain man, fur trapper era stuff for a long time. I've built all sorts of things out of leather, hats, and some clothes, and haven't done any of that stuff for a few years, probably about 10 years. I haven't done a whole lot with that, and so I'm kind of bringing those skills back and just modifying some stuff. So hope you enjoy this video. Little point of interest, if you got a backpack you don't like, take a look at it and see what you can do to it. If you're handy like me, I always like what old Red Green used to say: the women don't find you handsome, make sure they find you handy. It's kind of been the story of my life. So